Welcome, everyone, to the Hickory's Doorway
Welcome
podcast.
back.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
No.
This is part 2 of the Black Dahlia Murder. So if you haven't listened to the first one, you probably should, because this one's going to be fucked.
Very fucked.
So the way we're setting this up, we're going to do it in 3 parts. And it actually kind of works out pretty well, because part 1 is basically just, the life of a fucking Hollywood wannabe.
Had a very sad life, sadly.
Yes. Part 2 is going to be all about the death and the autopsy and the investigation. And then part 3 is going to be about the suspects and the theories.
Yeah, this episode's going to be really graphic.
It's going to be gross, so get ready for it. I'm not ready for it. I wasn't ready for it when I wrote this.
No.
Something I forgot to
What'd
do.
you forget?
I forgot to cite my main source.
You bitch.
I wrote it in the description of the first one because I remembered when I was posting it.
Yeah.
But I forgot to announce it. So the the main source we used for this is the book Severed by John Gilmore.
John Gilmore.
There's a lot that I didn't put from the book into this for 2 main reasons. One, this would be a very, very long show if I did. And 2, because you should just go buy the book and read it all, because it's a pretty good book.
Welcome to our first part of the Black Dahlia Murder.
Yeah, this would be a long-ass thing. Okay, enough stalling. Let's just get into it. So, where we last left off, Robert, I think that was his name, Red Manley, had just dropped Elizabeth off at the Baltimore Hotel, where she was last seen pacing around, making a couple calls, and then leaving out the front entrance and never being seen again.
Oh no.
That is until the morning of January 5th, 1947, where Betty Bersinger would find the body of Elizabeth Short in a vacant lot while walking with her 3-year-old daughter.
Oh god.
Yeah. At first, she thought it was just a mannequin because the body was chalk white.
Dang.
But as she got closer, she realized that's no moon.
Nope.
That's a body.
That's a body.
And the site quickly became a spectacle, and a crowd began to form around it of people, police officers, and reporters. Reporters are insane in this story. One of those would be the reporter Aggie Underwood, whose photos of the scene are some of the most popular circling around crime blogs and internet searches.
There were little clues left behind at the scene, or at least little clues by 1947 standards, because they didn't have any DNA testing kits or anything like that.
No, not really.
Detectives at the scene found tire tracks, a wheel print, and a cement sack filled with watered down blood near the body.
I love how he just leaves the blood. Like, I'm assuming that's got to be her blood.
Possibly.
I mean, I don't know why else there would be watered down blood in a bag.
He's going fishing.
Officer, is it a crime for me to have a bag full of blood?
Depends on whose blood that is.
What if I were to tell you I'm a vampire?
You go into the loony bin.
God damn it.
The 2 halves of her body were about a foot apart, and her intestines were tucked under their lower half. Her body was posed with her arm above her head, with the elbow bent at a 90-degree angle, and her legs spread apart.
It's really fucked up, because it's kind of like the entire thing that happens to her. Like, I'm gonna read you some more.
Yeah.
Get ready for it.
Oh.
It seems like it's entirely degradation. Like, he posed her like she's just, like she just got fucked, and she's just like, ooh, that was good. Arms behind it's behind the head as a fucking rigor mortis would allow.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Only thing I could say is, Richard Chase would have liked this crime scene.
Definitely.
We just saw the bag of blood, and you're like, I'm gonna go bring this to the coroner's office, guys.
I'll be right back. You just hear slurping.
Oh, God. I'm stalling. Okay, so the body would be taken to the LA well, yeah, okay. Yeah, you should turn it. Yeah, there you go. Make it red. Just set. Actually, I need something more calm than red. The body would be taken to the LA. Oh my god, tongue twister, bro. The LA County Coroner's And on January 16th,
You good there?
it was like a little bit of a tongue twister. I'm sorry. Coroner Friedrich Neubar would perform the autopsy. Neubar's report stated that she was 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighed approximately 115 pounds. I don't know if it's accounting for the blood that is no longer in her body.
Estimate, probably.
Give or take. She had blue eyes, brown hair, and her teeth were in an advanced state of decay. 1940s, I guess, man. They didn't brush their teeth or some shit.
Yep. And a very good dental care.
There were ligature marks on her neck, wrists, and ankles, and, quote, an irregular laceration with superficial tissue loss, end quote, was observed on her right breast, which translates to, there's a lot of spots on her body where the skin was basically, like, filleted off of her.
Ow.
Yes, and that is one of the bigger ones. You just cut off a chunk of her fucking skin on her breast. There were also superficial lacerations on her right forearm, left upper arm, and on the lower left side of her chest. The body had been cut in half at the waist using a technique called, and I don't know if I'm going to say this entirely right, hemicorporectomy, in which the body is amputated by cutting across the lumbar spine. In this instance, cut between the second and third lumbar vertebrae. So, like, basically, I think it was like maybe 2 or 3, I don't know what you call little spine pieces. Are those like the vertebrae?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 or 3 of those above the hips.
You don't know what to be a doctor.
Yeah, I learned how to be a doctor from... Fuck.
I mean, some people think they are.
There's a lot of people who think they are. Come drink my bleach.
No.
No.
You can drink it.
God damn it, Todd Clorox. The lack of bruising along the incision indicated it had been done post-mortem, thankfully.
No.
Another laceration about 4 inches in length ran along the pubic area of the lower half of her body. So, kind of like, I don't even know where you... Not the genitals, but like a little above it, you know, that little runway area. Just a slash. Why?
Weird.
I don't know.
Best not to think about it too much.
I had a thought, and I really don't want to say it, but it might...
There'd be another hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking too.
Oh, God. The front and right side of her scalp had bruises and some internal bleeding, which indicated she'd most likely taken some hits to her head, though her skull hadn't been fractured. On each side of her face, lacerations starting at the corners of her mouth were cut. 2.5 inches along the left side and 3 inches on the right. That is the good old Glasgow smile. Ooh.
Her cause of death was determined to have been a combination of internal hemorrhage and shock, more than likely from the lacerations on either side of her face as they were showing signs of bruising. It was also noted that her anal canal was dilated 1 inch and 3/4, though semen tests came back negative.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to know.
You probably just shoved something else.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there was no cummy samples in there, it's probably a foreign object.
Mm-hmm.
2 things that I forgot to put into this.
What?
They're both very gross. I think I'll say the worst one first. One of those pieces of skin that he cut off was shoved up her vagina.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Second, yeah. I don't... Just back where you came from. Second was that there was human shit in her stomach.
Yep. That too.
Yeah.
If there was any DNA testing, they would have gotten whoever it was by that, but... Elizabeth was identified after her fingerprints were sent to the FBI and matched with the print she gave during her 1943 arrest.
Yes. When she was underage drinking.
No.
Oh, God. Are you ready to hear something fucking horrible? If you already don't hate, like, reporters and media, you're probably going to hate them now.
Let's go. Hit me with the hate.
After Elizabeth's ID had been made public, reporters from the LA Examiner, remember that,
Yeah,
contacted Elizabeth's mother, Phoebe. The reporter who contacted her initially told her that Elizabeth had won a beauty contest and tried to fish as much information out of her as they could. Once they were satisfied they'd gotten as much as they could from her, they told her the truth and offered to fly her out to LA.
Them bitches.
They were just like, she just, when was she born, how tall is she, Okay, is that everything we got? Okay. She's actually dead.
Yeah.
You want to come out and see her?
Alright, she's been horribly mutilated.
Like, imagine you're just like, oh god, my daughter won a beauty contest. Well, that's kind of what she went up to. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, people shit.
God. The media would quickly sensation... I can say that word, I promise.
Try it then. Try it.
The media would quickly sensationalize...
Yay, give him a round of applause.
...the case, dubbing Elizabeth the Black Dahlia, as well as calling her, quote, an adventuress who prowled the streets of Hollywood Boulevard. They're just
making shit up to make it sound more entertaining.
Mm-hmm. On January 17th, the LA Times would call the case, quote, sex fiend slaying, end quote.
Yeah, they're just making shit up.
Yeah, I mean, they may or not be wrong, but they don't fucking know. They're just like, yeah, it's totally this. She was just fucking on the streets hunting for men, and one of those men fucked her up real good.
Oh.
It's like, you don't fucking know.
No. And why they call it the Black Dahlia again?
It was because she was seen in black a lot, and she always dyed her hair, like, hella black.
Yeah.
And a dahlia is just a flower.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's kind of like, pretty lady in black all the time.
Cool. For those of you that didn't know, there you go.
There you go. Now you know.
The more you know.
The more you know. And you have to find out like me when I was fucking 14, being like, man, the Black Dahlia Murder is such a sick band. I want a picture from my laptop. Google search Black Dahlia Murder. See a woman cut in half with her fucking face fucked up. Like,
this isn't the band cover.
This isn't what I wanted.
Let me look closer. Oh, nope. That's a dead body.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon was traumatized for days.
And now I'm dealing with that trauma through drinking.
Yay, drinking.
Man, if it wasn't 10 in the morning, I'd be like, I need a little drinky poo.
Who says we can't?
Me who has to edit this?
Just a little drink, it'll be fine.
Just a little drink, come on now. Get on my fucking flask, bro.
Ooh. On January 21st, 1947, the editor of the Examiner received a call from someone claiming to be Elizabeth's killer. The caller congratulated the paper on their coverage of the case as well as stating he would turn himself in eventually, but not before letting the police pursue him a little longer. The caller also told the paper to be on the outlook for some souvenirs from Elizabeth in the mail.
There are going to be so many people calling newspapers and like sending letters.
Yeah. They always are for some odd reason. Everyone wants to take credit, and they didn't do it.
It's so fucking bizarre. Like, I can't imagine, like, why would you want to take credit for something like this? Like, nothing good is going to happen to you if you end up...
I guess they just think they have nothing else in their lives.
I guess. It's fucked up, dude. So it's like, some of these have the potential of being truly from the killer, but I'm really not sure how many of them actually could be.
Yeah. 3 days later, a manila envelope addressed to the LA Examiner and other LA papers had been found by the U.S. Postal Service worker. The address on the envelope as well as a message on the front which read, "Here is Dahlia's belongings." Letter to follow had been composed of individual letters cut from other newspapers.
So is that kind of stereotypical, like, a different fucking, like, piece of like word or letter from
so they
different
can't tell who's typing and try to do some kind of...
Also, a lot of these are going to be written horribly. That seems to be a thing with serial killers. If it truly is from a serial killer or a killer, is when they write letters, they like to write like they're stupid. Like even BTK did that, or he'd like misspell things, or he would like...
Yeah, but BTK is a dumbass.
If I send you this floppy disk, will you be able to trace me?
In terms of serial killers, BTK is at the bottom tier.
They're all the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Anyone who like thinks that these guys should be looked at in anything other than just pitiful disgust should probably go get immediate help.
But in terms of pitifulness, he's very at the bottom.
Yeah. Demons made me do it.
At least the other ones own up to that shit.
Some of them.
Yeah, true. Not all.
Fucking Bundy didn't.
Yeah, true.
Porn made me do it.
Sure it did, Bundy.
Yeah,
sure
that 1950s porn made you do it, bro.
Must have been some really hardcore porn back then.
I'm sure it was very hardcore in the 50s. Inside the envelope, Elizabeth's birth certificate, business cards, photos, names on a piece of paper, and an address book with the name Mark Hansen on the cover were found inside. Hansen.
Alright.
There were several prints on the envelope, which were lifted and sent to the FBI, but the envelope had been washed in gasoline, and the prints were unreadable.
Ooh.
The same day, in a garbage can down an alley about 2 miles from where Elizabeth's body had been found, a handbag and a black suede shoe had been found. Police attempted to lift prints from these as well, but they too had been washed in gasoline.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did they be washing gasoline?
I think her body was also washed in gasoline. So I think it like destroys the prints.
Yeah. On March 14th, a suicide note written in pencil on a small piece of paper stuffed into a shoe found in a pile of men's clothing was found on Breeze Avenue. That was a weird sentence to read.
I know, I couldn't find out any other way to like, because it was a piece of paper in a shoe in a pile of clothes that was found on like the beach.
English people. It was found on Breeze Avenue. The note read, "To whom it may concern." To whom? "I have waited for the police to capture me for the Black Dahlia killing, but have not. I am too much of a coward to turn myself in, so this is the best way out for me. I couldn't help myself for that or this. Sorry, Mary." That's so weird.
Who the fuck is Mary?
I have no idea.
One thing that I've noticed about, I think, every single one of these like letters and things that get sent to the papers and the police is that none of them address her by her name. They all call her Dahlia, which kind of makes me wonder if, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe the killer might not even know what her name was, but like, it's just strange that they all call her that as opposed to like her name.
Means they probably didn't know who she actually was. So that graphic of a killing, he would at least have had time to get to know who she was.
You would think, but I guess we'll dive into that next week when we go into the theories and everything. But yeah. Yay!
Mark Hansen was a wealthy nightclub and theater owner who had, according to some of Elizabeth's friends, been rejected by her. One of these friends, Ann Tooth, told investigators she believed the rejection could have been his motive, though Mark had been later cleared as a suspect by investigators.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've all seen how some dudes handle rejection.
Oh yeah.
It's not a far stretch, I would say. In the weeks following Elizabeth's murder, the LAPD had interviewed over 150 men as suspects in the case. One of those men had been... I keep forgetting what the fuck his first name is, so we'll just call him Manley. That's what I wrote down. Manley. Red Manley. Being the last known person to have been in contact with her, though through a series of polygraph tests, he was cleared as a suspect.
Oh yeah, because everyone trusts a polygraph.
Yeah, I mean, but they fucking really trust him in the fucking 50s. During the initial investigation, over 750 investigators from the LAPD, as well as others from separate departments, worked the case. Locations like storm drains and abandoned structures throughout LA were searched for evidence, but investigators found nothing new.
A $10,000 reward was posted by City Councilman Lord G. Davis for any information which would lead to the capture of the killer. After this announcement, a flood of more than likely false confessions came in. A majority of these were dismissed by police, and even a few people were charged with obstruction. Yes, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The examiner would receive another letter from someone claiming to be the killer. This one had been handwritten and read. Here it is, turning it Wednesday, 10 a.m.
Don't forget, Black Dahlia Avenger. That's how he signs off.
Avenging what?
Avenging all the men who didn't get their dick wet by this bitch. Is the only thing I can fucking think of. I don't know. That or, it's not fucking real and there's some fucking douchebag.
Yeah, it is made up for fun.
Black Dahlia Avenger.
The letter gave a location and police went there to wait Wednesday morning. But no one had shown up. Shocker.
Surprise, surprise. That same day, at 1 p.m., the examiner received another letter written in the same cut-and-paste fashion as the first envelope. It read, quote, "Have changed my mind. You would not give me a square deal. Dahlia killing was justified." End quote. I don't know what that means.
It was justified. I don't fucking know.
It
changed his mind.
It's probably not real. It's probably not from the person who killed her. I kind of doubt any of these are.
Yeah.
The only one that's a little sketchy is the one with her birth certificate. But she also didn't seem too careful with her stuff.
True.
So, the examiner would continue to receive many letters said to have been from the killer, many in the cut-and-paste style. One of these letters read, quote, "I will give up on Dahlia killing if I get 10 years. Don't try to find me." End quote.
What? It makes it sound like he's still doing it.
I know, that's what I was about to say. Like, calling it Dahlia killing sounds like it's still happening, but no one else has been killed like that.
No.
And anyone who kills someone like that isn't going to be like, yo, that was a little intense. I think we're going to go back to a good old stabbing or strangling. They're going to be like, I got to do that again.
That's just fucking weird.
It's probably fucking... It's got to be like a fucking large majority of people just fucking around. Like, I think they even like... I don't know if it's like conclusively proved or if it's like on the cusp of being proved that the majority of the Jack the Ripper letters were all fake.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure most of these are fake.
On February 1st, the LA Times reported that the case had run into a stone wall. Investigators were running out of leads to pursue. Captain Jock Donahue told the press that he believed Elizabeth's murder had taken place in a remote building on the outskirts of LA, and then taken to a spot where she'd been discovered.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Probably what happened because there wasn't a whole lot of blood at the crime scene.
Also, she was alive for at least most of what happened to her. Like, the hemorrhaging and shock that she would have died from would have either been all the blows to her head, or I think most people, like we said, conclude that she died from shock as her fucking mouth was being cut open.
That too, yeah.
So I don't think you'd be quiet for that. I don't know how many people just ignored screams in 1947 LA, though.
I mean, it is LA.
It is LA, so it could have happened in someone's fucking apartment.
That too. Due to the precision of the cuts and dissection, police looked into a possibility that the killer had been a doctor, a surgeon, or someone with medical knowledge.
Now we're back to the killer having medical knowledge.
Jack the Ripper, you're back.
Jack the Ripper? Is that you, buddy?
No.
The police would later issue a search warrant to the University of South California Medical School, which was located near the site where Elizabeth's body had been discovered. The warrant requested a list of the medical school's students, though this yielded no results. And by the spring of 1947, Elizabeth's case went cold with little to no new leads. The press received a lot of blame for the state of the case by those involved, mainly from the many reporters attempting to get information not made available to the public, and many false reports. Yeah, they were like constantly trying to like... I think they were even almost like paying off like some cops just to get like the information that doesn't get made public, so that way when you interview someone, you have something that, like, to figure out if they know something they shouldn't know. But by this point, everyone basically knew everything that could possibly know, so everyone is calling in. They're just like, you can't... They might be, they might not be, because everyone fucking knows this.
True.
They were like... In the book, there's like entire chapters where like the fucking reporters are just like going fucking crazy, doing everything they can to like intercept fucking FBI. I forget what it's called. Telegrams, I think they might have been.
Yeah.
Like they were getting their hands on shit that fucking they should not have their hands on. And it definitely fucking made it hard to discern which confessions were false and which ones weren't.
In September of 1949, a grand jury convened to discuss the inequities of the LAPD homicide unit and its failure to solve a large number of its murder cases, especially those of women and children. Elizabeth's case had been one of the cases in question. After this, further investigation had been put into solving her case. Investigators would track down those who'd known her outside of the California area, but this too would be a dead end.
Yeah, so LAPD sucks. They've always sucked.
It just sucks in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're trying to find someone that has not killed and probably will never kill again. And by this point, they could be well out of state.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years basically after the murder, you're not going to find much. Like, whatever happened, happened. Of course, these are things we will touch on when we start talking about the suspects and the theories next episode, because it's a little bit of a, like, usually the suspect and theory portion of one of these, like, unsolved killings is not warranted its own episode.
Yeah.
But there's a lot, like, the book that I use for the main source has its own theory on who did it that connects to a different killing that I'm not too sure because she's not killed the same way. There is a running theory that was it Colorado? I think it was Colorado. The Colorado torso killer.
Oh, yeah. Might
have been it. Doesn't quite make sense to me, but that's a big one that we'll go into. And then, of course, there is the one made by, what's his name? Steve Hodel, where he basically says his dad did it. That, I don't know why, I just really don't like that one. It almost just feels, something about it feels like he's just desperately trying to, like, get it. Because I think he might have said, like, his dad did other things, too. I don't know. We'll get into that. But those are kind of like the three big ones. And then there's some more theories. We'll talk about our own theories.
Is the one supposed to be Jack the Ripper again?
I'm sure it is. Fucking H.H. Holmes was Jack the Ripper.
Ooh,
maybe he survived 100 fucking years.
Could be. You never know. That's all for today. Hopefully y'all had, I don't want to say enjoyment because that just sounds weird. Find this entertaining in some form or fashion.
Morbidly entertaining.
Morbidly entertaining.
We'll run down, I guess. If you like what we're doing, you could support us if you like.
Hit that like and follow and share.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Wait, we're not on YouTube.
We are, technically.
Ish.
But yeah, you can share the show. That'd be sick. There's a Patreon if you want to donate to that. That'd be hella sick.
Ooh, a Patreon.
We have merch. I made us a new shirt that's kind of funny. You remember those deathcore shirts where it had like the logo on the front and then like the edgy slogan on the back, or like the Suicide Silence one was like, you know, pull the trigger, bitch, and like the big impact font. I made one of those with like lock your fucking doors.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you want one of those.
That's our slogan. Lock your doors and windows.
Basically, yeah. Fucking do it. Don't be stupid.
Yep. Be safe. Be safe, yo.
Otherwise,
should be crazy out there.
Yeah. Shit's crazy, bro. Don't end up like her.
Yeah.
No one else has sense. Let's hope it stays that way. That would be hella fucked up.
That it would be, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows what the future holds.
Alright.
Alright, well.
We'll say goodbye.
Hail Satan.
Blessed be. Take care.
And, your dad was probably right about you.
How dare you? You don't know my dad.
Just hitting some fucking deep trauma.
Fuck you.
Alright, go fuck yourself, people.